Howdy y'all, hope you're all doing well. This video is all about changing the direction of my channel. I'm no longer going to hide. I'm not going to make videos where I show my face all the time, but I also don't think it's a big deal if I do. And I think there's a lot of teaching that can be done if I show myself. And quite frankly, I'm tired of posting other people's stuff. I have a lot of stuff that I want to teach, such as how I believe that we are all essentially inverted trees and that we become trees when we pass if we are good people. So that genesis being that our heads can reflect a root ball, and our limbs, our arms, our legs are the branches or roots from whence they come, from whence the root ball goes out. So this video is also directed at Lala Pony and anybody else who thinks that I'm a free martin. I think they're pretty much just picking scabs, because if you look at my jaw, does that look like a female or a male jaw? It's stupid that I have to do this, especially considering all the content I've put out exposing this nonsense that we shouldn't have to expose. And then look at my lollygog and Adam's apple and trachea. Like, what? So then, furthermore, just to cement the point home, okay, here's my hand. Okay, not doing any tricks with my hand. And actually, I will do a trick to become a free martin. Like, what is this? What is that? Is that okay? So I can pretend that my hand is like that. And then to cement the point home, it's going to be kind of hard because I'm holding the phone right now. But we've got a ruler here, okay? So I'm going to flip the... I'm going to try and see if I can do this on the ground. Well, let's see. It's just, I don't know, it's plain. It's plain to me. Like, this is not plain. I can flex it out. It's always bigger. And it's not the only thing that you have to look at, right? It's ear attachment. It's the brow ridge. You see the brow ridge? It's just, it's boring. And make content. Show me that you're a woman, La La Pony. You know, why not? Why do you have anything to hide? If you're a true follower of Christ, then nothing will be hid and you shouldn't have to hide. I don't think Christ was hiding behind a camera and exposing people. No, they expose themselves. Evil undoes itself. So undo evil by exposing yourself and share good stuff. So here I'm in my daughter's room. I made a painting for her. Does that look like a tear thing? Does that look like something that a tear would do, is make a nice painting for their family about, Bearmily, nice honeysuckle flowers and her in the center. This was before she was born. I didn't even know what was going to happen, and I mean, I knew she was going to be born, but I didn't know her yet. And I gave this to my partner for Christmas 1 year before I stopped celebrating Christmas because it's ridiculous and pagan. Santa being an anagram of Satan and whatnot. But yeah, that's us right there. I'm on the left, I'm the bear, and then my partner's on the right with the flowers, and then she's in the middle. It's not the greatest composition, and there's a little butterfly and a dragonfly, but I think it shows that I have a deep love and care for other people besides myself, like Jesus. And yeah, I do still believe that much of the Bible has been edited, and there's good things to be found out there that aren't there, because they've left them out. Like the Essene Gospel is not in the KJV Bible and has fantastic truths, in my opinion. Like, you shouldn't be eating flesh; it'll clean your vision. And 8 years now, and go almost 7 years, going vegan, with honey, the last year or so, has really cleaned up my vision. When I was a hedonistic teenager, I would go out into the world, play video games with reckless abandon. I would masturbate. I mean, teenage years, just being able to figure out your penis can be used for something else other than urinating is pretty, I guess, interesting. But eventually you get over it and then realize it feels gross, and it's always felt gross. And for those who never masturbate, you're doing great. Never masturbate. Fantastic. Don't do it. Don't believe the things that I believed when I was young, where people told me, oh, you're practicing for sex. This is just bullshit. It's disgusting, it's depraved, and it's self-centered. And that's essentially what we're finding here. This Nicolaitans video I made was all about exposing people that are too indulgent. And it's not exposing, it's all there. Like this is old text, right? But saying that I'm sick of it and it's in your face and I don't want to do it anymore. I have drank alcohol before, and I don't really want to anymore. I had a fantastic interview yesterday for a job that I hope I get. And whether I get it or not, it doesn't matter because I know I'm going to humble myself more and more every day. Something else that I do every day is I go out into the world and I go to parks. Yesterday, I went to the playground with my daughter and we played, and there was trash everywhere. These places, when you realize that there's a society of liars and egotistical people, you realize they leave trash everywhere and it's gross. Okay, great. I can't, pinpoint who did it, but you know what? I'm gonna go fix it. I'm gonna go clean up the trash. RFTK Ohio has talked about before how he goes to public spaces, restaurants, whatever, and the soap dispenser is out of soap, and no one's doing anything about it at the beginning of his meal or the end. So he feels the need to go up to somebody and say, "Hey, let's fill the soap so people can use it again." It's these basic little things I think that make a huge difference, and then beyond that, your bigger works. Because if I believe in Christ, I do, but I believe that people have modified stuff, and there's Christ's words are definitely the strongest part of the Bible, and I lean on them. And talking about these evil people, it's plain. The fruits of your labor are clearly indicative of who you are, and you can change. If you're somebody who's throwing gang signs and does evil works and lying, you don't have to stay like that anymore. You might be going against what your family says. You might be going against what the people around you say. It might not be quote unquote cool to do what you're doing, but please stop what you're doing. And I've mentioned before that I'm not going to call people tares anymore. And I'm not going to. I don't think that's my place. I think that feels wrong. And to be honest, reading the Bible, I don't think Christ calls a tear. Christ calls anybody a tear. He calls Peter Satan when his heart is in the wrong place, and he's acting out of. I guess suppose what is Satan, right? It's egotistical, it's selfish, self-centered. But to call somebody a tear, it's a foregone conclusion. Everybody can change, and I know I've seen change in my life, positive change from reading the Bible, and now I want to continue on to reading other texts and continue to humble myself more and more every day, because I believe that's what life is all about. You came into this world, you didn't know about things, you didn't see the signs and symbols. You just or at least I didn't, and I had presumed things, and I thought it would be good to put myself in the spotlight and earn a lot of money, and that was what all life was about, was having a status, and it's just what was presented to me. It felt like that was such a common thing to see from adults that I was around, and big sports athletes and big rock stars and all this. And now I find all that stuff hedonistic, self-centered, and on many of these things I don't even consider to be viable jobs. I don't think being a professional athlete's a viable work. Neither a professional, um, I mean, just I don't want to get too deep into here, but I feel like these are a lot of these self-centered pursuits, these people, these idols we hold up, they're doing completely wrong things. They're not idols. I don't hold them up anymore. Like I didn't hold them up as a child, but they're on the TV. You see them, like people make a big deal out of them, write books about them, all that stuff. So the society holds them up, and I don't think they're anything special. There's this wonderful interview. If you guys know who Mike Rowe is, he's on Dirty Jobs, or he was the Dirty Jobs host. He talks about, I love this interview. He talks about in this interview, I think it's called The Secret, which is among all these people that do all these dirty jobs, people that work in sanitation, people that work in attics and insulate attics and deal with the dirty stuff. There's this big secret with all of them that, yeah, we know people look at us and treat us like crap and think what we do is ridiculous and disgusting. But at the end of the day, we sleep well because we know we're benefiting society. We know we're helping people. We know we're doing things that are good, and we can do them. And we're not. And another angle is we can do anything. If you can do the dirtiest stuff that you know is going to benefit people, sanitation work, things like that, what can't you do? And I think that's what I found is you don't need to go to school and spend all this money on a degree. You can learn anything you want. And if you do need a certification for it, then prove you have the knowledge and go forward with it. And if you're really serious, then okay, put your head down, go to school. But there's no reason to be afraid. And now a little bit on a side tangent, but we're inextricably linked. I'm a regular man like RFTK Ohio, and I'm going to call him out right now a little bit, not too harsh. I love your work, brother. I think you're a good person. Most like 99% of what you do is fantastic. But in a couple of your recent videos, you talked about how you follow no truthers, and that's fine. But I think you should give some credit, more credit to people like John Levi, who have clearly informed your work on understanding old buildings and architecture and how what we've been told about these places is clearly not true. It wasn't horse and buggy people, it was an old society that was flooded, evidently flooded, and here we are picking up the remains and trying to make these machines work again. And there's a reason all these buildings have sunken windows and entrances. So again, I love you, man. You've helped me a lot. You brought me to a lot of truths. I listen to your playlists all the time. I've slowed down a little bit though, I've got to admit, because I feel like you're kind of putting yourself on an island. And my buddy Abdia Ahmed, who's commented on my work, has said the same. So I really hope you branch out and help other people out by acknowledging people like LBC Ulrika and other people in the community that are doing good work. So that's a side tangent. And the direction of this channel is as I put before. I am not afraid of showing my face. I have nothing to hide. Christ certainly could not be hid. And it doesn't matter how you look, but I'm simply calling out somebody for being a liar and trying to put me down. If I was a free martin, I would be out here showing you my double chin. I'd be out here being like, I'm a free martin. It doesn't matter. But I'm a regular man. I've grown up in this world. I have eyebrows that come way off of the eye. It's just I may be ugly, I don't care, but I'm I'm what I am, and for you to say these lies to me, it bounces off because I've cultivated a lifetime of being ridiculed and left out. That just I've cultivated that internal garden or that internal I don't know strength, the rock that I have, and learning about Christ has greatly helped that because he says it. If you are of Christ, you're going to be hated by this world. And it's just so obvious. The truths are not that complicated. A child could tell you without all of the programming that the outer space nonsense is exactly what it is. And the only reason I ever believed in it was because I was programmed into it and it's reinforced by society. Look at Universal Pictures. Every video starts with a spinning ball. All the waste management has a trash trucks have a big spinning ball on them. It's all nonsense made to mess with you. And if you're in the big club, that you know that from the beginning, NASHA means deception, which is right along with NASA. It's just in your face stuff. So I'm kind of bored of the expose content. I will inevitably do it because it's everywhere. But I think what's most important going forward is that we learn. And Christ does say that he's somewhat against thee when we're looking into this, looking at and exposing this dark stuff because you've forgotten your first love. And it's, I think when I think of first love, I think of what you're drawn to, what without the impetus of society pushing you in a direction, right? So I love making music. It's so much fun, but the way I do it is weird. And so what? I don't care. If people don't like it, that's fine. I think I make good music. I enjoy doing it. Um, I like making art. I like being out in nature. I like hanging out with my daughter and being present for her. And I don't think she'd be very proud of me if I spent my whole life behind a camera hiding. And I used to think that, oh, if you hide, it's going to enhance your message because of the anonymity. But I think it's actually better that you show yourself once in a while and show that I don't want to make it about me. I'm just a person that's here and I'm a regular man. Nothing special about me other than I don't know. I guess I like truth better than anything. And um, I, I refuse to be part of a hand sign throwing club, but that's not special. It's just normal, and it should be everywhere. So continue to humble yourself more and more every day. Pick up trash, um, help people out, and be like Christ. Maybe you aren't going to be going up to people and healing their blindness right away. That's I wish I could do that. That'd be amazing. I wish it's nothing, but maybe you're that person who they talk to and they smile and they got a greeting from where they didn't get one that day. I've had those experiences in my life where I had a rough day, and uh, someone was there to smile and take me in and hear me. And it didn't matter what their skeleton was, and it never does. Yesterday I met wonderful people, and it didn't matter what their skeleton was, and I hope to be friends with them whether I get the job or not. And I want to learn more about irrigation and how water moves through this place and how to use water better, and remove golf courses and all these terrible things that poison our earth, and explain things to my daughter and help her out and allow her to help me out and be a student and a teacher. So I want this channel to be all about making the mystical practical. We've talked about ancient Egypt being nonsense and just a bunch of art projects, and how it wasn't. Thank you RFTK Ohio again. Like among other people, like it wasn't this, painstaking slaves, giant blocks and such. It was concrete, and it probably wasn't that long ago. And it looks so lame when you see it for what it is. So let's remove this shitty playground that they've put up, the satanic shitty playground, and make really good stuff. Like anything that you can come up with. You're not hindered by these people. They run away, they hide, but they're gonna come at you with ad hominems. Oh, you dumb piece of crap, whatever. Or oh, you terror. Or it's ridiculous. It's the other guy on my channel, whatever, unaffiliated. I God bless you. Came on my channel and said before when my name was Unfurling Furs, said furs are a conifer. Like that's a reach, dude. Calling me a conner because the plant that I use is a conifer and the first part of that is con. I This is just petty nonsense. So let's mature a little bit. And if you really are going to make good videos, hey, do it. And I don't think I don't think a good video is just calling somebody a terror. It's, hey, I don't like these hand signs. Please stop doing that. It's evil. And you have a chance to go to heaven, and you're messing that up right now. So please change for the better. I know I have. I never threw hand signs. I mean, okay, I remember watching Spider-Man as a child and leaving the movie theater with the okay, I didn't know back then, but the devil horn thing, because I'm shooting silk out of my, wrist or whatever, because it's what the movie, it was exciting, it was engaging. I was 2003, I was like 10 years old. I was a child, I didn't know better. But as I've gotten older and I see all these horns and the skulls and bones everywhere, it's disgusting. And I have a video to make after this one, which shows the allegiance these people have to this, to the grave. It's insane. But yeah, they're in a club and that's what they like. They don't want everybody to get along. They want insulation. They want self-centered luxury for themselves. And you're not supposed to be one of these luxuriant dragons, right? And like what Christ says, right? These dragons and their pleasant palaces. That's what they are. People that have way too much money, but their homes feel like vacant and cold. Last year, I worked at the wealthiest people's houses in the town I was adjacent to, because as soon as I start my business, immediately they want to latch onto the real man in the area, and I get hired. My first client is the wealthiest person in town. You don't think that's telling about how things are? Now, I'm a real man and I have things to offer. Like I have, like, again, like the torque thing. My arms are super long, dude. Super long monkey arms. Okay? So it makes sense that I'm strong. It doesn't look like your normal Arnold, juiced up on steroids, strong type person. But how do you know he's not wearing a suit? How do you know he's not taking a bunch of steroids and hormones and making it self-centered all about him? It's about Christ at the end of the day. It's about, I mean, I haven't read any into the Quran, but I've been thinking a lot about the Allah acronym. Arm, legs, arm, head. That's all you are. So give it your all. Your arm, leg, arms, head. That's what you are. So while we're arm, leg, arms, head, we're not in heaven. We're not maybe trees or whatever we change into once we go to heaven. Give it all you got with what you have. I've heard a great way of thinking about this is thinking of yourself as if you're in a video game. You ever have those days where you just sit there and you don't do much and you kind of just wonder about other people? Stop doing that. You have an amazing world in front of you, and if it's hindered by anything at all that's distracting you, just move on from it. I mean, what's the point? Christ is supposed to bring us to good strength, to good things, good strengths. Truth heals. The truth has helped me so much. You know, growing up feeling like I was an outcast or stupid or awkward or dumb, I think a lot of that internally. A lot of that was internal. But as I've gotten older, I just don't care anymore. I don't have anything to hide. I'm willing to show all the stuff on my channel with my face connected to it. Okay? I'm not afraid. What's there to be afraid of? Are you going to kill me? All right, this place sucks anyways. Are you, you know, like what? I'm going to live my life to the fullest and humble myself more every day and find the beauty in God's creation. Go out into nature because that's what my first love is nature. Where I get the music from, where I get my art from, oh, is nature. Here's my cat here. He's a good little dude. I love him. He's by my side all the time. And I've never had that in my life. And he annoys me a lot too, but um, he's also a special little guy. And I want to continue to make that relationship better. He still hasn't really been outside yet. I mean, he's an indoor cat and he has claws and he wants to explore and he's a fun little dude. And I know he wants to have a little kitty family of his own. And I don't want to give him I don't want to neuter him. But I'm sick of hiding. And I wasn't hiding. I mean, I'm making all this content. I'm not hiding at all. But even more, I just expose myself, whatever. I have nothing to hide. You can call me a terror if you want. And going forward, I will delete your comment. Sorry, if you're gonna call me a terror on my channel, I'm gonna delete your comment because it's an ad hominem. This baseless on what? Calling Christ the truth and saying this world is full of liars and here's why with all their hand signs and oh they still happen to often be androgynes. I'm saying you could be completely subverted and still throw hand signs and have ill will. I've had ill will before when I was younger. I don't like that. I try to pull that out of my life every day more and more and more and more. It's subtle things like just the other day I caught myself in a really bad lie. Not bad, I guess it's all relative. But any lie is bad, right? Any lie is bad. So I brushed my daughter's teeth and then she was still hungry. So I got her blueberries. And then the next day my partner said, did you give her blueberries after bed or after brushing her teeth? And I lied. It's still there. I still lie. It's bad, and I don't want to do it anymore. And that's why I think making this video and just showing I'm a regular person who makes mistakes and whatever. I have a little thing here. It doesn't matter if I do or don't. Adam's apple, right? Uh, I don't have a Cupid's bow lip. You know, there's no up down. I shaved my face because of this interview, but I think it also just shows I look like Julia Roberts or I look like whatever Angelina Jolie. And I hope that we can all find peace while we're here. I don't want violence, but hey, if you're going to continue eating animals and playing violent video games, and I think you're lost. So Christ has helped me a lot. I think a lot of his teachings are hid, and let's keep searching for them because I think he is the connection. And you know, it's weird because I think it seems like a little bit Anglo-Saxon in nature. Like it seems like it's like the king. Like, something else in the Bible is like the kingdom of heaven is open to anybody. Like you technically don't have to know any of the words at all. You just have to be humble and be a good person and be a servant and not be full of yourself and a liar. Um, Something great that I heard, I think it was RFTK Ohio, just full of all this good insight. Who said this was but he got it from somebody else. So it's like when you see it, it's like we're all connected. The good stuff, right? Is Bach, right? Johann Sebastian Bach, the musician, would compose symphonies for kings because, like lullabies, because they couldn't sleep at night because there shouldn't be kings and queens. There should be no hierarchy except for Christ, and then we're all the same behind underneath him. There's one king. It's God. There's one king. It's a Christ. That's it. That's the answer. And it's beautiful to say it. I'm so thankful I found it. It's not Cesare Borgia, the image they have everywhere. It's a light being. I mean, it's eternal. It can technically, if it's God, it can change into anything, right? It's amazing. It's like undoes all this evil satanic stuff. And there's a reason we're all coming to the same things. There's evil people that hide truths, and we all are exposing them. Another thing that I'm rambling, but whatever, good stuff's coming out. That Lala Pony said, and maybe she's um, just got to think more about this. Is she said that I tell people to not go towards Paul, and so does RFDKOI and many of these people. If you read the Bible, Paul says that women shouldn't speak in the church, which is ridiculous. So if you're going along with Paul, you're saying that you shouldn't speak in the church. It's how can you agree with that? Sorry, I don't go along with that, Lala Pony. So I hope all of you guys are doing well. I want to change the direction of this channel and open it up to you can see my whole body. I have nothing to hide type videos. And if you want to rake me over the coals, fine. I hope you come with critiques, genuine critiques, and not ad hominems. But any ad hominems I will delete. So I hope you guys are doing great. I hope you guys are making the most of your time and your very unique, interesting selves. You guys are all beautiful. And you think about the variety of plants and animals out here. Just think about the variety of human I don't like the word human. The variety of people, the variety of men and women, and Swire and Freemartin and everything in between. It doesn't matter what you look like. What matters is what you're doing. And I think faith plus actions equals heaven. I think faith is a big part of it, but then you also need actions. You can't sit there and be like, Christ is my boyfriend, or I believe in Christ, and then go have an orgy or something. Like you have to wholeheartedly follow his teachings. And that's not a bad thing. When I was young, I used to be so reluctant to follow Christianity because I felt like I'd lose my independence. Look at all these fools going to church together and like cattle, right? And as we're learning, 501c3 churches aren't necessarily the greatest thing on earth, but this idea of community under Christ, it makes perfect sense. It's all his values are great, you know. Um, my favorite being love thy neighbor as thyself. It relieves all the tension when you do that. I had a conversation yesterday in my interview with the people that I'm going to help out. I feel if they give me the job, of course, but I feel good about it. Where she was talking about her depression. This wonderful woman that I met, and depression's hard. It's I've had it, but I don't have it anymore because I have a wonderful family, and even though I'm poor, I still see all the good things around. I know I have a lot that I can do. And that's what I said. That was my answer as to how to handle depression. A couple things was love thy neighbor, and then also this idea. This book. There's this book that's out there called The Artist's Way, where it talks about doing your pages. First thing you get up in the morning, you have that cortisol release. It's hard, it's stressful. You're just coming out of a dreamlike state, or rest. Write all your immediate thoughts, and maybe when you start doing this, it's like 3 pages. When you start doing this, it might be F, like you're frustrated, it's hard. But then I think inevitably it's going to get better and better. And what the coolest aspect of it, the essence of it, is you're not going to be having these thoughts crop up later in the day. They're all going to be out on paper. You've had written them down, and they're gone. And that way they're not bothering you anymore. Or if you get really good at it, they're good thoughts from the get-go, and then they aid in your exploration for the day. So I know it's probably hard to write every day perfectly. Life happens, and I don't do that. Like I write as often as I can, but I don't write every day. I do a lot of different things. But I know in my heart that we have to have faith in each other, and the only way we're going to see this place change is if we expose darkness to the light. and then we bring the light forward. And I think the light is Christ, and we find the light in each other. And there's so many ways to find the light. There's endless good stuff out there, and I'm going to continue to put out good content on that. And I hope you guys join me. I hope you guys give me critiques. I hope you guys, make fun of me, laugh with me, joke, and everything. Have all the full wavelength of emotions. I'd love to see the people that have ridiculed me most thus lately, Unaffiliated and Lala Pony, come out and make good videos. Unaffiliated, I saw on your channel you make videos on football. I'm gonna make NFL. I'm gonna make a video on that soon because I did grow up in sports, on how I believe they're all rigged. And if you do enjoy the sport of football, then play it with your friends, because when it comes to these big competitions, it's, in my opinion, it's a circus. So yeah, we have the Colosseum of old distracting people from what's truly important. It's still here. It's probably worse than it's ever been. But yeah, I believe all professional sports are rigged, and there's good channels on that out there too. So without further ado, make the mystical practical. I love y'all, and I hope you guys can make your own channels and contribute or continue making good content and making the world a better place, because we are not supposed to hide, and I have nothing to hide. God bless you.